Hello from the other side. It's Ma'am Florence again for another video lecture in General Biology 2, and for this time we will be talking about gas exchange. Okay, we have two subtopics for this, so let's begin with the first one. Surviving in thin air. Now let's talk about this. The high mountains of Himalayas have claimed the lives of even the world's top mountain climbers. Now, why is this? The air at the height of the world's highest peak, which is the Mount Everest, is so low in oxygen that most people would pass out instantly if exposed to it. So I think it is a really great challenge to be able to climb Mount Everest, especially if you're presented with this type of a situation, an environment that has a very low oxygen. But try to think of it. Why do we need oxygen? If you remember our topic in General Biology 1, especially the one about cellular respiration, then I think you'd be able to know by now. Okay, respiration. This is the interchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide with the organisms in their environment, and it provides oxygen for cellular respiration and removes waste products, which is carbon dioxide. So if we remember cellular respiration, oxygen is very important, especially in the last step, because it's the last electron acceptor in the electron transport chain. Without it, we won't be able to make as much ATP that we need for oxygen as possible. So we really have to take it into our system. And because of the different processes that we make in our cells, we create this waste product, carbon dioxide. So we have to remove it. And thanks to our respiratory system, it is possible through the help of different organs and organ system. Okay, let's see the mechanism. How do we do it? Gas exchange, it involves breathing. And then after that, there is a transport of gases by the circulatory system. So it goes hand in hand, the respiratory and the circulatory system. And then there is now an exchange of gases with the body cells. So there's quite a lot of organs needed for this to be possible. As you can see here in this picture, we have the lung, the circulatory system, our blood vessels, the blood, the heart, and into the cells, the exchange. All right. Okay. So how do animals exchange their gases? What are their different mechanisms? Let's see. So we have unicellular organisms, right? Unicellular, from what the name suggests, each organism only has one cell. So with that, they don't have a lot of space to work on. So they do not have blood or blood vessels. So which means they only exchange their gases through diffusion, as you can see here in the picture. And so that they are considered to have an open transport system because they do not have blood or blood vessels. Next, for mammals. How about mammals? This includes you and I. Mammalian lungs contain alveoli. Alveoli, they are small air sacs, and that's where gas exchange take place. Okay, how about for whales and dolphins? Have you seen them? How do they exchange their gases? If you notice, they have blowholes, and this allows them to take breaths in exposing just the top of their heads to the air while they are swimming or resting under the water. And mammals, they are considered to have a closed transport systems because we have blood, and that blood is found on the blood vessels. Blood never leaves the blood vessels, right? It just travels from one area to another and it never leaves there. So it's bad if we have internal bleeding in the body because blood vessels should store the blood. So that's how we do it for mammals. We have lungs and we have our blood cells to do the exchange in the different levels, especially in very tiny and fine capillaries. Next, how about for other animals like the reptiles? So for the reptiles, they are similar to mammals. And they have a larger alveoli. For example, in the varanid, they breathe with their cheeks, which is actually called buccal pumping. Isn't that very unique? And, well, we have an exception for that, the sea snakes. It's because they do their gas exchange through their skin. And reptiles also have a closed transport system. All right. So how about other animals like amphibians? So amphibians, they have balloon-like lungs, and the gas exchange takes place on their skin. Their skin is moist, as what you can notice, and thin, and it has a large surface area as well. The diffusion of gases usually takes place when the animals are in water. Carbon dioxide is diffused out of their skin and oxygen absorbed from the water. So if you can see here, in this sample, this frog, gas exchange can also occur in their cheeks. They can also do the buccal pumping. They also have their balloon-like lungs. And they can also have the gas exchange through their moist skin. And then, next up, we have insects. Okay, insects, they are quite different from the previous ones because the trachea is their breathing organ. And they have these tiny holes on their skin which are called spiracles. And that's where gas exchange takes place, as you can see here. So with that, they are considered to have an open transport system because instead of blood, they have a hemolymph. Okay, next one, fish. Okay, fish. They have gills, which are environmental adaptation for them to be able to live underwater. Those gills, they are protected by flaps of operculum made up of lamellae. So, these are the things that enable them to exchange the gases, and then the lamellae, it contains the capillaries. Okay, and as you can see here at the bottom bullet, lungfish. Have you heard of this before, lungfish? So, what makes them different? Actually, these fishes have lungs that are derived from the swim bladder. A swim bladder, it's an organ used for buoyancy in most bony fishes, which is connected to their alimentary tract. The inner surfaces of these air-breathing organs are covered with a great number of honeycomb-like cavities supplied with fine blood vessels. So now you know, lungfish, they are quite unique.